Of course, that Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce vacationed recently in communist Cuba, but now he's avoiding Florida? Florida's Republican Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart says he's had enough, and he joins me now. Congressman, you have been furious about this the last couple of days. Why?
I don't know about furious, but frankly, I will tell you disappointed and amazed. You've got a number of entertainers who, for example, have gone to the state sponsor of terrorism island, which is Castro's Cuba. They've been there. They've hobnobbed with the dictatorship. By the way, they don't meet with the opposition. They don't meet with the families of the political prisoners. But then some of those then will say that you should boycott Florida, a land of freedom, a land where people can, choose what they want to do and open businesses or opt to not open businesses. The double standard is frankly pretty silly at best.
Pretty silly at best, but I think it's probably serious in that. And one thing I think we should probably point out, a lot of Americans, I don't know that they understand Cuba. And you, of course, you know it intimately. I think your aunt was Fidel Castro's first wife. You understand the atrocities that have gone on there, and you have been a big proponent against not helping them in any way. Trade, currency, tourism, you say no. Anything that benefits the Castro regime, we should say no to. So it does impact you a lot more than the average person out there. And you would think that maybe someone like a Jay-Z, who's very influential, having gone there, would at least have come back and said, things about it that didn't make it seem like it was some sort of paradise that America was punishing.
Yeah, I know. You're right. Look, I've been very consistent on supporting a two-pronged approach to that dictatorship. Number one is try to do whatever we can to make sure that the regime doesn't get hard currency, which, by the way, they use to, among other things, shoot down American airplanes in international airspace. By the way, they have an American hostage since December of '09. The other part of the strategy is to help the internal opposition, the civil society, the pro-democracy groups who are struggling to try to bring democracy to the island. Now, look, it shouldn't surprise us. You have a lot of entertainers. I've seen Jay-Z with the Che Guevara T-shirt. Che Guevara, all you got to do is look at his quotes. The things that Che Guevara said about blacks. He was an incredible racist. The things he said about Mexicans, the things he said about, how it doesn't require evidence to execute people, the things he said about wanting to nuke New York City and murder Americans, and yet you have some of these folks wearing Che Guevara T-shirts. By the way, some people don't know better, but in this case, they went to Cuba. They hobnobbed with the regime. They did the whole regime agenda. They did not meet, by the way, with opposition leaders.
Right.
There's a rapper who's been in prison in Cuba because all he wants to do is sing his rap music. He didn't even want to meet with him.
Yeah.
It's really sad, and that double standard is frankly destructive, dangerous, and shows a little bit of ignorance, obviously.
Yeah, and by the way, we should also point out Justin Timberlake, the Rolling Stones. I saw the Rolling Stones. I thought maybe, they were trying to make up for that line. Maybe the Puerto Rican girls that's dying to meet you. It's never too late, even if it's a 30-year-old slight. But it seems like this is just a hip thing to do right now. You think it have any impact on the state at all economically?
No, it won't. I mean, look, the state of Florida is doing better than most of the states in the country. Unemployment numbers are dropping much quicker than the rest of the country. Investment is increasing. Job creating is increasing. Look, we appreciate good entertainment, but I think we have to remember who these folks are. They're entertainers. People appreciate them for their entertainment value, not necessarily for their intellectual value. However, when they do things like hobnob with anti-American terrorist regimes, then I think that's when you draw the line, and we should say,
I'm getting a rap signal. But real fast, if you can tell me, do you think that these actions actually paint Florida as a racist state and actually will make race relations worse or than they have to be?
No, it won't.
Okay,
I mean, the reality is we live in a great state, in a great country.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, faceplant.